obstacles here. And again, we could talk about, you know, teams that scrim outside their region and whatnot, but this is the real test for me, right? Is once the team comes out of their region, comes out of their comfort zone and plays a team that isn't necessarily in their repertoire.
Now, as well, the slow style that is obviously classic with the Counter-Strike style of Na'Vi. I watched a little bit of their, you know, games against Gambit. I've been pouring through it, and I wouldn't put them quite into that side of things. I'd say they sit somewhere in between. I don't think they're one of those hyper slow teams, but look at this lean towards B. All 5-1 spot. Quick mid-take from Liquid as well. Soulcast could be the first. And good enough contact gets the information.
Oh, here's Wall actually invested up top here, and lots to do here. Kills coming back and forth. Now Link actually left out on site solo right now. Yampy actually all the way down on the bottom of B lane trying to get some damage onto it. But Dino actually going to get the plant through. Link contests it but doesn't get that kill here.
Yeah.
Last player
3v2. Dino and Cloud. Lovely shot from Cloud. Going to need 2 more of those though. And the Spike's in a precarious spot, to say the least. So not going to be an easy fight. They've doubled up as well. Going to make it even trickier for Cloud, who's trying to navigate as cleanly as he can. Speaking of clean, it has to be.
30 seconds left.
Opportunities knocking. Both of them behind the wall. Praying for safety. 20 seconds. He's going to use every second that he has. Just trying to see if he can find an isolated player. No one's giving him anything, and it looks like Cloud's been flashbanged. Hopefully he's okay. I don't see any flashes on the other side, but it will be Cryptics. To find him and Liquid get off to a great start. So all in all, well handled, well controlled, and I love the patience at the end there from Liquid. So I'm more than happy seeing that. That's a good tick in the box.
Indeed, is again a good response initially, and I mean time and time again we see these kind of plays to just stall that plant on B, and Liquid played that textbook. Honestly, it comes through to a couple of key trades, and once they have control of the spike there, I mean the round's all but done. Cloud, he can try his best, but it's difficult to dig that out.
Yeah. Now, obviously, because NA already started, we're giving a little bit of a shout out here. Just going to get those audio problems fixed up for you guys. Don't worry, they'll be sorted out as soon as we can see, a little delay. I'll be fine. We'll get there. Yampy bringing it out in action. And as I said, I think towards the end of their qualifying run to this point, he officially took over the IGL role, which will be interesting to see how he suits that. I think most of us, after the couple of interviews we saw, as this is just pretty much an eco looking for maybe a spike plant at best, we're kind of waiting to see how he looks. I want to see how he looks on that role, and I think he kind of started to fulfill that role earlier on and maybe freeing up some of the other players. So
yeah,
for now, pretty clean. Only Soulcast lost. Spike is planted, so Na'Vi not too upset by this.
I'm going to try and reset here at least with the turret, but I think catches that cross. The slow orb going to go down. It's more the Lear comes through. Just a matter of time here until we clean this up. Hopefully, though, Dino going to get one for his troubles. Yampy, good for the trade, though. And just coming back to that, I think it's always interesting to see a team undergo that sort of change where, you know, previously it was very much backline IGL, right? And then we go towards a player that's actually leading from the front. And it's always nice to see. I think actually just come back to that Yampy interview where talking about actually adjusting the play style depending on the team they're playing against, right? So sticking to those core fundamentals and having it as kind of this, you know, the recipe, but switching those ingredients up as the... So completely caught off guard by that player photo, actually. But, you know, switching up the ingredients as you go. So, you know, agents might change and certain setups might go, and actually leaning away from those set plays, which were, you know, the Liquid and Fnatic, you know, the bread and butters of EU very early on.
Ooh, mid push. I like a bit of this. Hold on. Looks like things is aware of this. They've kept control of it. One of the brilliances of having that killjoy shown off by Magnum, of course. I think he's one of the ones who highlighted how good that mid control can be with it. However, Na'Vi have taken quick control of the site. Soulcast likes none of what they're trying to sell. SSK's already down, but it's going to be Spike. Oh, no, it's not. Denied at the very end. Nice work from Liquid. They're making this dicey, considering it's still on a bit of a bonus round, right? We're up against rifles here. They've got Spectres, odds and ends. Na'Vi should be getting this clean, and Liquid are giving them nothing clean about this. So there's still plenty of pressure here. Dinks is trying to alleviate that, maybe trying to find one towards that long corridor of kitchen. And at this point, it's Cryptics and Link left alive.
You know, still trying to control Cryptics way back in Hut here, and I think eventually going to reset for the plant at least. That shot died bang on though. So much damage done there, but Cryptics will fall. Link now finds himself on a 1v3. A couple of players tagged up. He's going to be able to convert this damage just yet. So that's the wall, but again, the odds of him getting that down, it reinforcing before it can be broken by 3 players of NAVI, highly unlikely. And it's an open plant as well, so no real risk on the double swing here. Link just going to himself healed up and maybe actually try it here. That wall goes through.
Players out of position. Yeah.
Say maybe look for a kill, but Valve will find it before that even happens.
Yeah, a little unfortunate in that regard, but good damage done. Was it 3 alive spike plant though? So Navi are more than happy with that. That's round on the board. Yes, they lost a couple of players. Obviously, they'd like it cleaner, but you don't always get what you wish for when you're up against some big firepower. Now, speaking of firepower though, I kind of want to keep my eyes towards what Navi get up to and how they look. Of course, when we see them in their region, it's a little harder to understand the context of how that translates to, as at a more global scale or even just EMEA scale. And, they're known to have a bit of punch to them. We've seen them in the past, a couple of players, if you've definitely kept your eyes on the scene. I mean, early days, they've been around the EU scene too. It wasn't like it was just purely behind, that CIS blockade. We've seen these players before. But I do want to look at Yampy. Man's out on the op, having a little run around, quite aggressively posted up here, still trying to keep that space, forcing Navi to invest that early utility to clear on the way through.
And 2 players actually spotted on the owl zone there. Will force Yampy back initially to reposition, but Scream
Here.
still there to counter peek, I guess. Navi will freeze for a second. His body's outside, just behind pipes. Now Scream got to be very careful. He can dismiss across there. He's going to find the first, but
Sick angle.
actually does find the second.
This is why I love Scream on Reyna. The man has the ability to back away when he wants to. Scream looking a little finished there, but it's just fine. Cryptix has the back lines for him. Rez comes in. He knows there's more. He wanted more, but he gets denied. Allows Cryptix to swing from the back of the side. And look at Link's aggression. It could not have been better timed. And I love the push and pull between Liquid, and it's absolutely brutalized Na'Vi. As Dino's down and Liquid get the third on the board, that's going to be a big indicator that they are aware of what that A-site hit looks like. And the fact that Scream gets them 2 there is everything I could have wanted. That's perfect for him. A third could have even really opened up if he got the opportunity, but still, I just love what he can bring on that Reyna.
I mean, I love the presence of mind, the composure to find the first, and you got to say, majority of scenarios, right, it's a huge trust to put in Yampy to either counter peek off that or to find the second. Most players, you see them, they dismiss off the first. Basically on the back of those 2 kills, it's the round. It's the round done for. I mean, even if that point, some unlikely scenario, Scream is traded after the dismiss, Yampy repositioned. You gotta bet he's good for 1. Now, actually,
Remove.
okay, Dino will find Scream creeping down tube, and it creates an opener. Na'Vi here, Yampy now isolated, at least forced all the way back onto screen side of rafters, and actually out of screens now. The info's there that Na'Vi are not progressing towards B, so this rotation is going to come through on the back of the lockdown as well.
Yeah, this is an instant posture for a retake. I'm amazed Yampy's leaning out this far. He wants a bit of a hit and run, but he's not going to be given it. Whoop. Did actually get detained on the end of it. Is some, I want to say, safe. I don't think anyone's going to be pushing through, through rafters towards CT, but Spike is planted. We're in the post plant. Utility still left, a little on Arch, so that could do some work there for them. I want to keep that in the back of my mind, but speaking of the back, it's going to be Link on the flank, and look, Fnatic again, flashbacks when this man's on the flank, but it's Cloud to find him, so Na'Vi keeping that in check and keeping numbers incredibly favourable, and there's no picks being presented for Yampy. He's desperate for someone to get a little overzealous and maybe make that play, but time now committed off the back of that Viper utility. This is wrapped up. Put a fork in it, this one's done.
And they will pull away here. Yampy going to hold on to that operator. Happy to give this one up. Hold on to 3 weapons at least here. Again, the economy, I think, should be flush enough where they can comfortably drop out towards Lincoln Scream. That's Yampy on the Blade Storm. So again, another layer of possibilities there if they do want to protect the economy a little further. I think actually I was on the back of, if I'm not mistaken, SSK was potentially going to make a play for the Blade Storm in the early round there. I think before they even got that pick, riding a classic through in the previous round, but obviously got it online a little further on, and yeah, looking at it, Sitting pretty comfortably. Viper's bit available now on Soulcast. The Blade Stormers had already said, but Yampy going to hold on to the Operator.
Okay. Now that's a great tick in the box in my mind, because I was a bit worried that Liquid were completely prepared for that A piece coming out, but if that's Navi's approach, off the back of the first pick, of course, through middle, then huge indicator. And Cryptic's out of nowhere. Hello? I saw Jonas in chat, but already this early on, Liquid just flipped the switch. Look at the pace change. It's slight, but it's good. They are hyper aggressive on at least the fights. May not be taking the map control, but they are posturing up on every single fight here, not falling away from it. And Arch, wow.
Oh no.
Well, he's had a nightmare.
Oh no. The recon bolt actually tagged him. It was stuck to him. And I think actually, I mean, I'm going to say I noticed one of the Na'Vi players watching that lineup come down on just outside garage on B. And again, maybe just forgetting about it. Maybe not expecting they'd run it 2 rounds in a row. But I think this catches Cloud in his owl drone. You can see on the minimap where the spike was laying. There's a player death icon just there. A freebie. Call those freebies.
Yeah. You take them. You take them when you get given them. We go again. The money's still being kept controlled. Na'Vi is still fine for cash, at least into this round. They'll be just fine. Rifles out. Armor looking plentiful on the other side. Similar scenes, but obviously we know the bank's been building for Liquid at a 2 to 4. So that B piece again. It's been pretty brutal over here, honestly. The trades... They've been generally getting the entry, it's the post plants, and then kind of, being slowed down by the utility time and time again. Liquid just grinding Na'Vi down as soon as they try and crest that corner, but taking their time. They have been punishing that mid piece if anyone's getting aggressive from Liquid, but no one going for it this time. Ult invested. Na'Vi now have at least safe passage towards the site, somewhat.
I think going to be on top of site, though. Going to try and spam through some of these expected plant spots. Dino actually going to come through with the plant here. Stolka somehow finds that kill. I'm not entirely sure how. That was behind the wall and inside the Viper's pit.
Look, we don't ask these questions. We carry on and we smile. 37 seconds. Spike in the hands of SSK, but he's been caught by Cryptics again. How are they finding these? Am I just missing something? Oh, that's a lot to be showing. Yampy's going to get that every day of the week, and now Dinks. Stunner of a shot on the first. Let's see how much he got in the tank now. A 1v what was 4, now 3. Link, Scream, and Yampy all watching, all aware, but he's got an angle to play with. Catching one on the cross, baited in, and Link's got it. Both hands, safe catch, no problem. Liquid looking solid, I've got to say it.
Hey.
I'm liking how they're looking. Composure is the key word for me.
And again, we look at the rounds where Liquid tends to fall apart. It's where things get sloppy towards the end there. Everybody freezing on site. Don't want to give anything away. And right here, resetting back.
That's
like I said, how they're finding these kills, whether or not they're just, like I said, spamming through these expected angles of where they think the plant's going to come through. But that was at least 3 kills with no recon bolt tag, no owl drone tag. Like, they were all just through the Viper's bit.
Hey, look. Lothar spoke about the Marshals coming out, and he's right to be saying as such, but Scream could not give a care in the world. The man pushes up, he takes the fight, he wants more, and he's feeling confident, and that's what I want of Scream. Let Scream loose sometimes. They don't have these round confidence builders. They're up against, weaker purchases, lighter armor, lesser weaponry. And now Dink's still trying to find some value for this. And Dino. Feel like I've seen a picture like that before. That smile haunts me to this day.
Magnum.jpg.
Truly a hero of our times.
Silence.
And yeah, again, if they can make it costly, brilliant, but I'm pretty sure Liquid's bank is flush at this point. If maybe they lost Yampy and Scream, then sure, but I love the want of aggression here, but Yampy has gotten punished. Now Scream's on a bit of an island, but he's going to still aggress because it's Scream. And he saw a foot out of place, and Cloud's in all kinds of trouble. 19 HP in a dream. 1v3. And Scream in front of you. Not going to happen. Clean enough. Job done.
Yeah, well handled that. At least 2 will fall, but will damage the economy too much. 6-2 the scoreline now. Liquid. Wind in their sails. I think this is when you start to look, especially on defense, whether or not Liquid want to kind of switch up a little bit. We talk about pace changes, and this is kind of the moment you're feeling as if that's going to happen, right? They're feeling comfortable now. They can actually make use of, as Lothar described previously, a composition that's lacking utility in terms of having a very structured defense, right? And Scream and Yampy can start flexing out a little bit. We've already kind of seen hints of that on A side. We've seen obviously Scream attempt to walk Tube in a previous round as well. But this is the moment here to kind of catch Navi off guard when they're trying to, you know, even get themselves into this game, get a firm grasp on some of these early rounds.
And talking bigger picture though, this is we're just getting to know this Navi. It is a new look of a squad, right? You know, they kind of built this up. They played incredibly well during the CIS run to this point. They were a team that a lot of people kept their eyes on. A lot of players that were kind of circling around, never quite found their home yet, but as a collective, they look good. Now, obviously, Liquid have the tenure, they have the reps, they have the time together, they've got it all. So if Navi were to come in and absolutely blow them out of the water, that would be a huge statement. I want a competitive game out of Navi. That's what I want to see. Now, a couple of the set pieces look nice. You could see that for sure. Arch definitely doing well to kind of put them together, but I need a little more than that, because right now I feel like Liquid are feeling comfortable. They've weathered the storm of the early rounds where it feels dangerous. You don't know what you're up against. Now you're like, we're 6-2. We're starting to feel better. This is okay. Now Yampy's going to be forced to fall back, has to respect it, but he knows there's more to follow. Now, it's not all in. It's kind of a 3-1-1. KJ holding the push up. You saw that Viper watching towards middle. But SSK's the one to make the progress towards the site, at least showing that intent, maybe trying to catch that rotation, see if there is that aggression, but none being shown thus far.
Yampy swung out.
For you.
Missed on that one. Has to retreat back towards Rafters. He's used up that dash.
Revealing
You
area.
can see with the Hunter's Fury though. SSK and Dino very close by. That wall goes up. Cut off some sight lines here, and Navi initially got control of front sight towards default. Spike still all the way back in spawn. And Arch now holding on to this mid, hoping to catch somebody in transition. And a very, very slow, methodical approach here. Dino and SSK have been on site for some time now. 25 seconds left. Plant's going to come through.
I like this. You can see what Navi were trying to do. It didn't quite work out, but Dino has found Link. There's a trade out for Yampy, though, so still holding that back line of sight. But I'm looking at Arch for this flank. If this works out, he actually pulls the trigger on the first. I thought he could have waited. Discipline could have been his friend, and now Viper's out of position, so the post plan's not looking so deadly. Dino's still doing it, though. Scream's gone down, and let's look at what remains. Soulcast, Cryptix, Yampy not finding it on that one, but again, Cryptix great timing to play out on that. That's gorgeous work between the two. The synergies are starting to show. Dino's gone down. And now there's two left. Cloud and Dinks. What can you do with this one? Time's dwindling, though. There is a bit of a limit on this one. Cryptix now known and is Yampy, but Cloud from afar. The spike, he can't be defused at this point. Cryptix has no option. He's trying to draw them in, and Cloud does not care. Gets the round. Navi showing again that A piece is solid.
And this is after a couple of bits of presence shown. I've already talked about Yampy and Scream looking to flex out, and the slow approach in response there. Like I said, methodical, just clearing all of this front sight, getting all the way towards default. That wall cutting off screens gave them total control. And they were able to sit like that for 20 to 30 seconds before the spike was even retrieved, Lauren.
Well, I just love the fact that they took that space, they showed intent, right? And then they're trying to punish rotation. They held mid and they held that B long push just in case someone's going to get overzealous. Now, they have been punishing that push a couple of times already. So I feel as though Liquid have gone, right, well, we can't do that. That's, out of the question now. But again, I like that from Navi. You can see the intent in their pieces. There's nothing complex about it. It's quite simple. But sometimes the simplest things works. Like holding again for aggression. The adaptation from Liquid was just trying to push Link a little further forward. But Scream, speaking of forward, it's Yampy dashing into this. It makes a bit of a meal of it. Dino's happy to sit back and go, yeah, no worries. I'll catch you doing that. No, good try. Now we're left with Scream, Soulcast, and Cryptix. The aggression has not paid dividends, but it's got them some space. Look how deep Navi are holding Hypoc.
Anticipating further follow-up here, but you see Cryptix and Scream now to pull away. With Soulcast this deep on B, they're going to have the information early enough. He has to find one. He's actually spotted out by SSK here. Might even be punished, and he will do. Out, Navi, total freedom. That's going to draw the rotation. Or at least it almost did. The information relayed. It was only one. Nobody followed through. Cryptix.
Deploying drone.
Going to catch his audio cue here. He's going to come through. He's going to swing. He finds the first, but traded out by Dino.
Down A.
But it's Scream. And there's a chance. There's always a chance. The man's the headhunter. Poised in position. He's got SSK. And that's going to be one. It's clinical. It's clean, but he needs some more. And he doesn't know where Cloud quite is yet. He's got an inkling, he's got an idea, he's got the concept, he's made the move. He's got another! Body's starting to fall. He's got the 1v1, 4 bullets remain! And he only needed him! Scream's a god!
Oh my word. That was absolute perfection from Scream. Again, just catching him on the dismiss there. A final peek over the top of the wall, and Navi have got to be kicking themselves on that one. A 1v3 pulled out of the bag from Scream, and my god, it's good to see him back on this Reyna. I know, how often have we talked about it, and it's for plays just like this, Lauren.
His value in doing this, I don't care about utility. You know what? Sometimes play to the player rather than the agent. And there's a rarity you say that, right? Because traditionally, yeah, okay, you want the reliability of having utility and all of that it can bring, but when you have a player like Scream set him up for success, because look what he can do. He's broken the back of their economy. That's a 1v3. That's an absolute tilter for these boys. In the bin you go. Yampy puts them down. Bit of recycling. Very conscious of the environment. Good work, Yampy. Things is gone, and now there's 3. Now they can barely make their approach. Scream's enjoying it. He's feeling the game. He's got that hot hand. Look at him. He's loving it. Now, oh, Dino. Oh, the bait. Oh, it makes you feel silly, doesn't it?
Liquid just building this, and I gotta say, it's on the back of, you know, when knowing when to pile on the pressure, knowing when to dial it back. And again, a couple of rounds where you look back to previous series and where Liquid have fallen apart, it's where they get overzealous, right? It's where things get sloppy, complacency shows. This is just clean. This is clean Valorant in this first matchup.
But correct me if I'm seeing something and you're not here, but you can see the potential in this Navi team. Some of those sight hits, ooh, they're a scary team to watch, and I do want to see how the rest of this map continues, and I like the indicators. And again, they're on the attacking side. It's the first time they're in a tournament like this. It's a very new team. They're a new collective. Give them some time. I'll wait with bated breath. We already have the ult invested as well, so we'll see how that looks. Dino. Working on up. He doesn't quite have the drop on Link, but it was actually the support from SSK that helps up on the top of Tube. Cryptic's now wanting to get aggressive again. This could have... that could have been a problem. If he'd overstepped, mistaken the time, then he could have been punished, but no, he keeps it to a 4v4, and mid remains somewhat controlled by Liquid, and look who's lingering, Hypoc. It's Scream. And you know what? If you're feeling it, you're feeling it, and you go off those feelings, you play to the tempo that you've somehow defined, and he's garnered mid-control. He's got the timing just right. Yeah. He is reading the pace of the game here, and he can call out, well, there's no one mid, there's no one B. They're still committing off the back of this ult, and he's still trying to clear this. He wants to make sure, because it feels weird that they're going to go through that ultimate, but he now knows, with that utility shown, Soulcast waits. Oh god, this is madness. SSK, he's up on top of the Soulcast, still lingering in the depths, still waiting this one out. Navi are amongst them, they're in the Wolves' Den. Screams on the flank, he's slowly closing the net. But the spike's coming in, and Liquid are holding for a second. Yampy's found one, the spike gets denied. Scream now springs the trap. It's Cryptic who denied it, bear in mind. And there it is. Soulcast waited so long, and Cloud has no idea. Liquid just set the perfect trap off of those small crumbs that they found.
That's such a beautiful round to watch back. And again, Soulcast, you can even see as soon as that snake bite comes through from above, from Arch, but that actually gives the gig away, honestly. Before that moment, I think Soulcast is still second guessing how many people are outside. But again, you look another layer beyond that. Scream has pushed the entire map, right? So they know. Yep. They know that actually Navi are pulling something like that. It's so well played, and you're right. It comes down to the timing. For 2 or 3 seconds either way, Cloud actually comes out to peek back into spawn there at one point where Scream is pushing towards B garage. If he's caught there, the whole thing crumbles.
9-3. Let's take a little stock of this then. I feel like we're seeing the good version of Liquid. And there is a bad version. I don't want to, be completely, up their asses, which, we love to do, of course. But, when Liquid are good, they're a great team to watch. You see all the pieces come together, you go, how could there ever be a problem with this roster? But we're getting that version, at least now. I want to see how it looks on the attack. Now, on the other side, though, I'm not disliking what I'm seeing from Navi. I think there's so much potential in it. But again, potential ain't enough when you get to this point. This is the big leagues now. You've made it through your regionals. You're into the, EMEA side of things. You're in the bigger collective. Now Scream's going to take the space on the site. We've got 2 players towards backside posted up, 3 on the play back in on flank, and Scream's only seen 1 and they've seen nothing. Yampy got Arch, and poor old Dinks is just like, wait, how are they here? But there's the flank coming in, Hypok. There's still value to this.
Yeah, it comes down to Cryptix and Yampy here. Left to recover this. Cryptix actually going to eat that shock dart down to 42 HP now. Both Liquid members tagged up. Cloud will challenge, but only a trade-off of damage here. Commit to this plant here. Yampy holding close contact. Low HP though. Hopefully good for one. The wall actually going to cut off these sightlines here. Look at that. Perfect response there. Na'Vi come through. Dino and SSK to find the kills. They will get the pistol round. A huge round at that.
It's a gateway. It's the first that they need, and we talk about it constantly, and we'll keep talking about it now. You need it to open that doorway, right? Okay, you got the first on board. Now, do Liquid get overconfident? Do they start playing the economy game, take some risky purchases, go on the 4 spies, or do they respect this? That's what we want to see here. We want to see if they do go for something a little fruity, a little risky. They had a decent enough round, they can do, and it looks like they're going on a bit of a buy here, Hypok.
Bot coming back.
Interesting to see, actually. What they decide. Again, I can see a heavy lean towards pipes here. Sorry, towards belt on A. Spike going to make his way here. Cloud and Dino to hold down the fort. And at least no audio cue just yet. Give it away the purchase. See on the back of that, there you go. Gonna hear that Guardian probably fall away and try and play a little bit safer here. Wait for the reinforcements to come through, and that wall and the slow orb should slow things down initially anyway, but Yampy opens things up. Dino will fall. Tinks though responds with
Massive
2 of his
value.
own.
Yeah, huge value found off that. Now Spike's gonna be going down. Well, I say that, Spike's trying to go down, but it's not being really allowed much space here. It's being contested on most sides. Now Cryptic's still trying to find a corner, a bit of safety to work in, and they haven't been given much. Cloud's willing to put his life on the line for this. Can't deny it, but he can catch the player on the way out. Finds Lick, follows up, and now it's just down to 1 soul cast. The timing's not there. And Na'Vi control after a bit of a dangerous start, but mostly in control. Liquid only getting away with the spike plant.
So Na'Vi will put their 5th. Get this round 2. Dings actually, on the back of those kills, really good progress on the ultimate towards that lockdown. Nobody else really close. Again, unlikely to see it utilized here in this next round, considering, I guess, in anticipation of the purchase we're going to see here from Liquid, but see how well they can handle this next round here. Again, with the weaponry we're expecting out of Liquid. I'm going to be hoping they're going to try and push through fairly quickly here. Scream actually going to throw a Marshal in the mix. A couple of Sheriffs as well. There's still something to make work here, Lauren.
There's bits and bobs, odds and ends. I'm not putting full faith in it. But maybe it could do some work. We'll have to wait and see. At this point for Na'Vi, they just need to hold steadfast. Maintain composure. SSK going to be first contact. Does get 1, backs away. Didn't... Okay, so they're going to hear at least the Sheriffs going off. No, there's a Marshal in place, so they've got the full idea of the purchase against them now. And again, you don't want to give away guns, even if it is just, you know, a Spectre or 2. SSK, lovely timing on that.
Spike down, B.
There was safety there in the form of Arch, and well, now he's been punished. That's a problem, Hypok. What's going on here?
Healing.
Actually, we'll get Soulcast back to a more comfortable position as well. Dinks now. Here to try and stop this plant coming through, but he won't be able to. Liquid will get this at a decent opportunity to hold on to the post plant too. Scream will slip through the net. Cloud actually wins that with a Spectre? What?
Must be nice. Soulcast and Link, how much you got in the tank? Let's see this one. Dino and Dinks, the D&D combo, gonna do well to find Soulcast, but it's Link, not gonna get it. Nice work from Na'Vi. Again,
great recovery.
Hit the brakes for a second there, I felt. Regained that composure and kind of played back in after what was a pretty dangerous exchange over on B-Long.
I mean, Scream finds that kill. They then have control of Connector, everything through from Tube, and they isolate both of these players towards spawn. That was a huge 1v1 to win, actually. Liquid making things interesting. Expect nothing less of them. Yampy now on the Blade Storm. Probably just going to sit on this Ghost, actually. Obviously, rifles across the board elsewhere. Already talked about it, that lockdown available. Cloud now closer to the Hunter's Fury. SSK 2 away from the Blade Storm himself. But we'll throw an operator in the mix here.
They get this one. Problems start to mount for Liquid. Now, that's a start. Link's been found. And that's the spike dropped at the back of A. So I wanted to look at SSK and any opper that comes out of the CIS region. You're born in greatness. This region always provides brilliance, but Soulcast now revealed, and he actually still catches SSK. So Soulcast could have cut it in half. Yampy needed another, couldn't get it. Good work from Dino, excuse me. And now the 3v3 begins. I mean, NAVI have a little bit of play off the back of this, and that's going to be the game changer. Soulcast removed from this is going to get problems for Liquid, but you got some heavy hitters left alive. It's Scream and it's Cryptics to close this out, but it is rifle v rifle, and you're right, the spike was lost at the very start, off the back, over towards that A site.
I don't even think it's lost. I think it's actually placed outside the wall. So Na'Vi, no knowledge of that. Look at the way they're playing it. Yeah, I've got to say they have no idea the spike is down there. Dinks, though, is going to be close enough to hear this rotation. Or at least the steps now drifting back towards spawn. I keep looking at the minimap. That spike is outside belt,
left.
right? It's outside the wall in spawn.
Well,
so
a player died in front of it. That's the thing that gets me, though.
They don't know.
So it's... Okay, well, seen on the cross, they've got a good idea now. Yeah, you're right, it was on the backside of the wall, so they didn't have full idea, even off the back of that first pick, but with only 13 seconds, they have to commit towards A. There's enough now heard that they have to hit those rotations. You can see Cloud lingering a little longer, and that's a problem. All goes in. What are you meant to do with this? 8 seconds. They can try and get the spike down, because they have to. There's no other option. There it is, planted, but who's going to get detained? Is there any way out of this? And look at Cloud, straight away on this, going to try and catch him in the heels. One player has been detained. Get your gun out, though! Scream...
No!
No! No, he's got his gun out. This could all go so badly wrong. Can he deny the diffuser? I don't think he can. Cloud, you're lucky, my man.
Okay. That was nearly like...
Yeah, that was, you know, before tragedy struck moments.
And on the back of that, it's 9-7. Na'Vi somehow... 4 rounds unanswered. 4 rounds... Spike has been planted and Na'Vi have been successful. Look at that. It's literally just outside of its field of view. So unlucky that... Again, do you know what as well? Cryptics is one off the ultimate as well in another universe there, yeah.
Oh, aggression. Hold on. SSK! Just...
Oh no.
Flies in and then flies down. Whew. And flying feels like falling, I guess. That's pretty brutal. Now, at this point of 4v4, though, he's seen a lot towards his A side, so can call that out, but how much did you commit off the back? Link's just walked forward. Dino had no idea that the player was that close, but Cloud does have the ult on the other side. I think that was at least a tag. Cryptics actually avoids it. 20 HP and lives, but Soulcast has made progress towards B. I'm looking at the player Arch, who's deep towards the back of site. He's given up site control, but Soulcast, how much did you check on this?
Soulcast got himself into a similar position in that previous round now, but he's going to catch the audio cue on Cloud, and we'll find the headshot as well. He's rewarded for his efforts.
Arch is on an island.
He is indeed, and unnoted as of yet, but there you go, Soulcast. We'll actually spot out the Viper's bit invested here. Liquid should be able to get control here. Oh, so push through, he's going to find a kill.
Player standing.
Okay, that's Spike now found. At least a little bit of information trickled on through. Dinks on the playback in on this. A 1v2. Spike yet to go down. The ultimate's still there, but they don't predict it. They're still clearing backside. They're still clearing middle. Dinks has an opportunity. It's a slim one. But maybe he can deny it. Sees the plant, denies it, takes down Cryptics. Now the 1v1, 13 seconds. He can play the clock, he can play the time. Soulcast, where do you go with this? Around the world. He's going to plant on the backside of sight. Just play that ultimate out. Use it as a fog to just cover the battlefield, and Soulcast can readjust position. Dinks has no idea, but the timing, that wall's about to go down, and peekaboo! Soulcast says hello. Keeps controlled by one player. This is getting close. That's 7 on the board for Na'Vi. It's 10 for Liquid, but this run has been from Na'Vi on the way back.
It has, yeah. This is Liquid's first response get that one on the board. Now, will not do anything in terms of the economy here for Na'Vi. Probably an extra round on top. This is so unlucky. SSK just misses the ledge there to get back onto pipes. To be fair, that was a big fall. There was some height on that. He had some airtime. See, here's lots of tools still available for Liquid. Hunter's Fury, the Res, the Empress. On the side of Na'Vi, nothing. Important to note as well, no operator purchase here. So talking about the finances, actually, it's a consideration to make that we don't see it here, because Yampy on the other side, he's online. He's activated.
The aggression again.
SSK
SSK wants this.
through.
He's done so well at this. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game you're playing. You're putting your life on the line for that early blood, and he's going to at least get it on one but scream with the trade. It may not be by falling this time, but, you know. At this point, 4v4, early information found, forcing out the res, but it is now going to be against 5.
Bring the numbers back. Look at Soulcast again. Finding space for Liquid. He's going to be the one to relay that information now. It's going to pull this rotation now. Dinks might actually catch this mid. Oh, wait. He comes through. They line up. Cryptics and Link will
Spike
fall
down
screen.
mid.
Good for the trade now.
30 seconds
Soulcast
left.
got to find this kill on Dino.
Toxins going up.
Make sure they can secure B site at least.
Dino's in a whole lot.
Oh, my
Dino,
word.
you're an animal. Takes down Scream in just back to the wall. You put an animal closed in, cornered in, and look at this, 11 seconds. What are you meant to do with it
10
now, though?
seconds
Dino
left.
just trying to live, trying to fight for another day.
remaining.
Yampy's put him down, put him to bed. It's 5 seconds. You can't do anything.
Wow. What a recovery from Na'Vi. On the back of Dino just playing his life so effectively. Dipping his toes, finding value, and getting out. Yampy has no choice but to hold on to this operator. And again, Na'Vi, they throw the stops on Liquid. Don't allow them to build that second round in here. Dinks, the timing is just... It's so
down
unfortunate
mid.
again, because you can see here
30 seconds
Soulcast
left.
has let down the wall and the poison orb to recharge that toxin. So Liquid, they either have to wait, which they haven't got an awful lot of time to sit and wait for that to come back online in mid, or they have to push through. Unfortunately, they're punished.
8 to 10, we're starting to see the Na'Vi that brings terror. The name that holds value and weight in other titles might have just found their champions in this, but we have to wait and see. It's still far from over, and Liquid, their money this time does make it look like it will be a 9 to 10, but seen stranger things. Yampy still has that op. Scream with a Guardian. Couple of Sheriffs and a Ghost. And the creep up towards B off the back of Yampy. First man in, leading the charge. When I say charge, leading the slow assault, I guess you could say. Double stack on the site as well, with that Sage kind of lingering around too. They've got a good idea, it feels like.
Ooh. Liquid will freeze for the time being.
Revealing area.
But Dinks again, though. Yampy
Poison orb emitting.
caught out here.
Spike
If that
planted.
weapon is recoverable, it's not just yet. And Dinks can't find anything on the way through. Lockdown available, though. Cryptics does have the Hunter's Fury in response.
They've been chipped away at 36 HP on Soulcast, 41 on Cryptics. It's not looking perfect, but it ain't over yet. Dinks is going to try and clear out some of these corners. Cryptics not known for the op, but let's see what he can do with it. SSK is going to feel the brunt of the damage already, and they're going to be down to 4. It's not over yet. Forcing out the res, going to have to respect the ultimate this time. Going right back through, but another to follow. Cloud's going to put himself up as the Guardian here to hold them back, to try and hold the flood, hold back the wave from Liquid. Dino by his side. It's Cloud with 2, SSK
No
with
way.
another, and he wants to hold them just far away enough. Cloud with a brilliant round, and Na'Vi control what could have been dangerous post-plant positions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can actually even see Soulcast sending through the snake by the perfect timing to kind of negate some of that, I guess, ground being able to be regained by Na'Vi from the lockdown.
They forced the timeout.
This is, and again, this is, I'm just taking a look here, Liquid. They don't have another buy after this, and Yampy's at 2750. 2 away from the Blade Storm, so I mean, it's going to be difficult for him to get that online in this round, at least if the rest of Liquid purchase. Na'Vi sitting pretty. Again,
Yep.
Ultimate's tapped out, but Art's 2 off the Viper's pit. Say this is timeline-wise, this is lining up for Na'Vi, but again, potentially come through win this next buy round. They're on 11. They've actually completely flipped this on its head.
They absolutely have. Now, again, you saw those kind of moments on the attacking side where you're like, okay, you can see the kind of, idea, the concepts on the standout players, but the control they've shown so far is exemplary, and they've played the economy game perfectly. And this is where some of those force buys might come back to haunt Liquid a little. They got close in a couple of rounds, sure, but it doesn't seem to matter. Again, spike plants are great, but they almost give you that notion of like, well, we might as well get a purchase, we might as well do this, and again, we'll see what it looks like down the line, but for now, the money's in the bin pretty much. I mean, we still gonna have a Spectre coming out here, buying as much as they can, and they need to stem the bleeding. SSK gonna see at least one, maybe a little more. And Yampy, well, he wants to get in. He wants to try and do some work here, make some headway towards the site, but it's SSK on the back of the site here, waiting patiently. Has to respect the owl drone. Yampy's threaded the needle, though, Hypok. He's gotten close, but that ain't no cigar.
No, and Dinks again gonna find 2 kills from Screen. Actually, Link now in a world of trouble. Can't even get the wall up. Can't even solidify on site. There's now, it's just Soulcast
Spike
left.
down A.
Stuck away behind Nest. Spike unretrievable. Na'Vi will swarm. Suffocate that Spike. He misses the jump as well for good measure. Hate to see it. Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me.
You love to see those. Soulcast
You
still
missed that, but you hit those. Aye.
playing for that headshot percentage again. He's been deadly with it recently, to be fair.
Yeah,
so.
Soulcast is nuts. Like, I'm not even, like, kidding. The guy's amazing. Now, we do need to flip the script slightly, right? Because we're talking about this. I would still say this is a Liquid win. But let's say you're in the Na'Vi camp, right? Let's say you're at the Na'Vi side of the coin, which is completely reasonable. I don't blame you. I still can't wait to see how these guys look going forward. But let's kind of talk about the map pool then. Because in my mind, it's a 2-1 if Na'Vi win, right? Win this, lose next, win last. Now, I don't know how that looks for Liquid at this point, because there's still room for recovery, but it's just, buy eco. Their economy is not recovering at this point.
No.
And you're right, it's going to be probably, if everything goes as it should, let's say, according to economy, 11 to 10.
We're going to get the bait someone on try and actually prevent that from happening. He's over the top. Dinks again in that same spot. It's so difficult for Liquid to dig him out of there, and time again, he finds kills. Na'Vi happy to take a step back, allow Liquid control towards 410. We're able to respond every single time. Dino now up behind that poison orb. Liquid going to attempt the plant here at least.
Spike planted.
See what they can get set up here, Lauren.
Still a bit of room on this. Let's see how composed this retake looks. Again, Cloud has to respect the utility that's still in play. Link's gotten away with staying in this position. I'm sure he'll get checked on, and, well, it does, but only off the back of a kill. Now, it's Arch who's actually found the way back in, navigating past both Link and Soulcast. And Cryptic suddenly loses that line that he may have had to work with. Dino's going to sit this. He's not going to deny it. No one can stop it. And Na'Vi make it to 11. We have a game on our hands, ladies and gents. Na'Vi pipping Liquid to the post, making it to leading finally in this game. And look at the composure they've had to continue here, Hypok. Because considering that first half was pretty brutal, right? You had Scream popping off, you had Yampy having moments, right? Like, it was all looking like this is Liquid on point. And there's that flip. there's the record scratch, right? And now bring it back. We suddenly have Na'Vi going, well, if you thought you could have some fun, wait for us.
Player standing.
It was 9-3, by the way. Na'Vi have just completely turned up. And now on the brink, again, of resetting this economy, putting themselves on map point here to open this series. Liquid, you Scream here, try and lead the charge. Lear thrown out, but
Here.
no follow-up just yet. And I've got to say it, again, Liquid just unable to really break this deep hold on A site that Na'Vi have got. The Hunter 3 going to get invested early here from Cloud, and it will find a kill, and it's Scream.
Out of all of them, they take down the heavy hitter, the headhunter himself, but Soulcast is still alive, and this guy has been so deadly.
Well,
But look at what greets him.
I was going to say, the adjustment here, see the Killjoy utility invested to stop Soulcast carving out this hole in mid. Dinks and him have crossed paths though. And again, Dinks is... no way. If he gets rewarded
Timing.
for this mid push again, the timing is...
You will
it's insane.
not kill my ally.
Okay, so he's gonna hear this res. He's hearing the steps out here. Yampy's on the other side. Oh, no. He's found Yampy. He's found Link. He's looking for his third. He gets a third. Cryptic's punished and brutalized. And now Soulcast's position finally comes into form, but it's opened up a small avenue towards B. Now, Scream has to get a wiggle on. He's going to get a move on towards that B site as best he can. Soulcast needs to be ahead of this.
Has to find a kill.
Pops the ult to almost lure them in, to draw
Beautiful.
them in, and it does just that. Great work from Soulcast to give this into a 2v2. Spike is now down, and we wait to see what they can bring back. SSK and Arch kind of approaching from opposite sides, Hypok. They're going to trying to pinch this one in, and the bait from SSK, I kind of like this.
No charges left.
Arch will be noted. Scream now on red alert.
Enemy remaining.
SSK will find the first Soulcast full. SSK finds the second as well. Navi clean up around. They have no business fighting back into. And that's map point, Lauren. Wow.
12 to 10, Hypok. Whew.
Match point.
That was crazy. The bait is perfect. It just builds so much paranoia. Soulcast, you can see he has to investigate. He has to
Yes.
check.
But this position, this is what got them there.
Dinks again.
And it's not even just one. Yes, he has support there, bear in mind. He's not alone in middle. There was that support coming through by the kind of like, you know, bottom side of tube. But even then, him being able to cut down middle like that,
Fun.
Liquid are going to be kicking themselves. That could have been
Yep.
a completely different picture, but at 12 to 10, who cares what it could have been or what it might have been? Right now, it's Na'Vi on, at least for now, map 1 potentially in the pocket. Let's find out, though. It's still close. Liquid just have to bring this back. 2 more rounds and we're tied up. It's us casting. OTs are plenty, and it's Scream leading in towards Arch, whose timing might be unfavorable, but he's actually stayed alive a little, but not long enough. Yampy finds him. Sight is now looking a little under the Liquid banner, but there's the ultimate and there's the frag. Cloud's gonna find Yampy, and Cloud's been an animal. Him and Dinks have both been absolutely bullying Liquid at this point, and Liquid have to respect the ult. They can't do much about it.
Dino now gonna wall off. Yes, give himself a little bit of breathing space, and Dinks actually resets back towards tube. Liquid stacked up. They're ready to reapproach A here, and actually Dino gonna find Scream.
Spike down.
Imagine
A.
finding the timing on that. Scream's just clearing those angles, but now
Oh,
Dino
no.
wants another. He's gonna get it. Cryptics can't deny any part of this as Soulcast and Link now staring down the barrel of the gun as Na'Vi maybe causing the first upset here by picking up map 1. We're gonna wait and find out. It was their choice, keep in mind. This was the map I think they wanted to lead into, so it makes perfect sense. But Soulcast does not care for their sense nor their logic. He wants this for himself, but... Lucky boy indeed, but the flank's coming in. 11 HP in a dream is all he's left with, and SSK does it for Na'Vi. 13 to 10, Hypok. This is the first mark they've made here, and it's a